Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah, it's like, come on, buddy. Come on, over here. Come here. People can't see you. See your pretty face. This is Roscoe P. Coltrane. My ride or die partner. Best friend. I I decided I'm going to start having fun with this stuff. I mean, it's insane, you know. But it's the holidays, and I I have a lot of I'm not going to do any of this with animosity anymore. I'm going to have fun with it, and I'm going to exercise my First Amendment rights while we still have them. You know, I'm going to talk about the the dirty, rotten scoundrels that are in our local government. You know, they, you know, they make promises to your face, you know, and then the minute you walk away, they don't even remember it because they don't really care about you. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. Back in 2013, I got a notice from the Montgomery County Child Support Enforcement Agency in Dayton, Ohio. I was living in Key Largo, Florida at the time. I got a notice for, um, it was a collection notice for arrearages of $885 in back child support. And my mother had just passed away. My mother's the only one that ever had permanent custody. My ex did have temporary custody for just, you know, a month at a time, or I'm not even sure the exact length, but the point is, I'm going to stick on track here and keep it chronologically in order if I can, but I wrote a motion of deferment of payment and sent it to the court. And I sent it to the family law court, you know, Anthony Capizzi and the child support enforcement attorney. And I didn't know that I'd, you know, I guess they actually weren't aware. You know, all this time I was like, you know, they had to know about it. But anyways, looking back, I brought it to their attention somehow. These are professionals that are supposed to be doing this, you know. But either that or because I found out about it, they, you know, they shut it down. But when I sent it up there, the first thing they sent me back was a notice saying that if I wanted to fight this, I had to come to Ohio and go to court, be at a hearing. You know, set a hearing, be there for a hearing and all that stuff. And you know, it's like $885. I'm like, man, I might as well just give them the $885 rather than buy a round trip ticket to Dayton and rent a motel to stay in for a week or however many days it takes to do the hearing. And so I called Vicki Thompson at Child Support Enforcement, and I asked her, you know, about the arrearages and everything. I'm like, you know, $885. I've got 4 fully grown children, and I owe $885. Yeah, that's got to be some kind of record of Dayton, Ohio. You know, I don't know. You guys should be taking me out to dinner and give me the keys to the city or something, man. Not hounding me for child support. You know, I'm disabled veteran, and my mom has passed away, and my daughter's of age. She's an adult, And she's like, well, we paid your mom, and these are arrearages, and we want our money back. This is from child support enforcement, who takes our tax dollars. They they don't care about you. None of these creeps downtown or in our government give a damn about us, So, anyways, I asked her, I said, so if I write you a check for $885, I'm done with child support, right? She says, yep. So I wrote out a check and sent $885, and the check on its way to Ohio passed the next child support enforcement notification, and Vicky had sent this. I mean, it's right there. She's looking at the computer screen. She knows what's going on. So that, or she doesn't need to be in her position at all, because I got another notice of arrearages for $10,997. So I called her up and I'm like, what the hell is this, I thought I was done. She goes, well, this is another order. I'm like, another order for who? And she said my ex, her name, and I'm like, how am I? I'm like, how long has this been going on? And she says, 16 years. I said, 16 years? I'm like, who's getting the money? And when she told me it was my ex, I'm like, how the hell did she get 16 years of child support? She never had a custody order that would make that legal. She said, you're kidding. I said, no, I'm not kidding. She said, I'm going to have to talk to the auditor and have the auditor call you back. And she called back a little bit, said the auditor's going to call you in the morning. Well, the auditor calls and says, give me your information. She types it in the computer. She says, oh, well, there's the problem right there. We failed to rescind the original order. I'm like, great. How do I get my money back? And she's like, you got to get an attorney. And I'm like, wait a minute. You guys automatically set up the child support before the baby's even born. And you automatically give custody to the mother, in most cases, and I mean, it's all automatic. And you automatically issue a warrant if somebody doesn't pay the child support, and then you ruin their lives, get them a criminal record and destroy the family. That's what it's all about. But you don't automatically give me my money back when you make a mistake. She's like, yeah. I'm like, that's sexual discrimination, definitive, So, I tried, I called a couple of places there, related to the family law court, and they gave me the runaround and everything. And finally, I got all the discovery that I, could get from those people. And, they pull those child support orders out quarterly and look at them 4 times a year. So they had looked right at that double child support. It's 2 payments going out to the same child, for the same child, to two different people. 2 different people can't have custody of one child, And if one's got custody and the other one's got, visitation, then one person's paying child support. So anyways, Anthony Capizzi and the child support attorney held a private hearing without anybody from my side being present, and they just closed the case, so I couldn't write any more motions, And so I created a Facebook. I had back then you could have 5,000 people in a group, and I had One that was dedicated to my music, and one that was a personal account. And I had pretty good membership in both of those. Not maxed out or anything, but when I started, I created a hashtag. It's tell five people, to tell five people to tell five people. And I started attaching all this information about this child support issue. I was posting it on Judge Capizzi's page, on Commissioner Lieberman's page, and Judy Dodge, Carolyn Rice. I mean, these people are antiques. They've been, they're like me. they're antiques. But they've been in office for so long, and because people don't know things like what I'm going to be sharing for the next few weeks. So I had all these people approach me because I had was creating all these documents and stuff, and raising, not raising hell, but just raising awareness to what was going on in the family law courts and all that stuff. And I had all these people, send me friend invitations and stuff, and I ended up with 5 Facebook groups maxed out at 5,000 people apiece. So I some girl from here in Ohio. I'm gonna keep her anonymous because she turned out to be a dirty person. I mean, she just she was she was not the person she was pretending to be. Let's just leave it at that. But anyways, she's the one of them that came and said, "How do you get by with talking to that judge like that?" I'm like, for one, I'm not using profanity. For two, I'm not threatening him with any physical confrontation. 3 is I'm telling the truth, and the last thing they want to do is get me in a courtroom telling the truth, so anyways, 2017, I moved the day of Hurricane Michael. I left Florida, and it took me about 6 days to get here. I don't remember the dates and stuff, but once I got up here to Ohio, I stayed at a motel for a couple of weeks, and then I got an apartment. I moved them to my first slumlord landlord rental off of North Dixie on Gypsy Drive. And anyways, I might have even been still in the motel. That's been a ways back, 7 years ago. But I went to the county commission meeting, and I filled out the request to speak and gave it to the assistant, the recorder, that records the minutes and all that stuff. And when they were done with their, their proposals and stuff for projects and everything like that, it's when the public speaking part starts, the recorder hands Debbie Lieberman this request to speak, and she said, "Oh, somebody from the community wants to speak today." It's, oh, fuck. You can see everybody up there, get up on the edge of their seats, because I'd been wallpapering their Facebook pages and filling up their answering, their voicemail for 3 years. And now, while I was down in Florida, they're, well, he's like the video I just posted on the YouTube channel, and getting ready to go on Linktree and all these other channels. Out of sight, out of mind. Empty promises, out of sight, out of mind was the last video that I posted, earlier today when I got out of the eviction court, because, you can look at that stuff. You can just look at America's public housing problem. No, America's broken housing. Oh man, I can't remember. I'm telling you what, I've been through a lot, a whole too much the past couple of weeks. America's um, broken housing system, broken public housing. There it is. There it is. Right there. America's broken public housing system. And the other channel that I have on here is Veteran Housing Auditor. If you type that in, you can see the videos. But, and this might end up being in one of those folders as well. But I think I'm going to create another folder. You know, I might even go back to being the truth whisperer again, because that's what I was when this all was going on. You know. But anyways, I you know, when I walk up there and they all are up on the seat, I got the podium. I can tell by the look on everybody's face up there. You know, I'm here today to talk to you about hashtag Tough 5 People. You know, I went into the whole thing, you know, about the child support and all that stuff, what I'd gone through, and what they were doing, and how they were ignoring me. And when I was done, Debbie Lieberman's like, you know, blah, 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 you know, we're just, you know, I'm just hearing about this and stuff, and I've gone back over and sat down, you know, and I'm like, am I allowed to address this? And she said, sure. I said, I've been wallpapering your social media for 3 years. You're not just finding out about this, you know. And so when I get home, when I get out in the vehicle, there's, you know, voicemails. Already there's a couple of voicemails on there. And by the time I got all the way out to Xenia, there was a couple of emails and stuff. One was, you know, from Miss Lieberman saying, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to look this over, and we're going to, you know, get this straightened out. And I called her, and I'm like, so, how long is this going to take? She says, 1 week. I said, okay. 3 weeks later, I go back down to the county commission meeting, and I walk in, and Debbie's not so kind now. You know, she's a little gun-shy. She says, what can we do for you today, Mr. Faulkner? And I said, well, you know, I've had several businesses in my lifetime, and I've never gotten free advertising from the government. She said, what are you talking about? I said, anytime that you get anywhere near a government employee and you start talking about the law and filing lawsuits and stuff like that, or anything like that, they want to refer you to the Bar Association. And the Bar Association is a private entity. You know, it's not a government agency. But they get free advertising at every disc in America. So I looked right at the camera and I said, I want to announce I'm running for county commissioner next election cycle, and I'm going to run on an anti-corruption platform, and I'm going to win on their record, you know. And they weren't too happy about that. So I got home, and I had given I had given them all this affidavit of standing jurisdiction and status that I have of recorded on the face of the official record, which essentially says you cannot, you know, use my name to create any fictional characters or anything like that. You know, I'm a living, breathing person on the land. You know, I took myself out of admiralty jurisdiction and put my feet back on the land. So, and they didn't understand that. They probably still don't know what that is, because they're so comfortable at what they do, you know, and they think they're untouchable. So anyways, I said, there's not going to be any stipulation, is there? She's like, no. Because I asked questions I already know the answer to. You know, I might look dumb, sound dumb, but I'm not very dumb. It's just a clever disguise. So, how long is it going to take, Debbie? Another week. 3 weeks later, I went to the next county commission meeting, and when I walk in this time, Debbie's not very friendly at all. She goes, "What may I do for you today, Mr. Faulkner?" And I walked her right into this trip bag. She tripped right on into the bag. I said, tripped her right into it. I said, "I just want to know where you let Tom, the auditor, Patricia from Family Law, from the Family Law Court, and Vicky from Child Support Enforcement lie right to your face." She's like, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "Well, I know the answer to that." She says, "What is it?" And I said, "You're a big fat liar too," which was wrong, but it brought an end to all that because Debbie yells at Tom, "Tom, what can we do to stop this today?" And 3 hours later, they had me sign a thing agreeing I would never bring suit against them and stuff. And I walked out there with a check for all the double child support that they'd taken from me. And I filed man, I can't think of it. I wrote I can't think of the word right now. It's I wrote a bill. I wrote out a bill under the Constitution. If you do your own legal work, you can charge $1 a day up to $1,440 a day, and that in situations like this where there's no statute of limitations, I mean, it eliminates the statute of limitations. It tolls until they settle the debt. And I haven't even got that bill out yet and looked at it, but it's in the millions of dollars. And I filed that with the Office of Risk Management in Columbus, Ohio, and I just haven't filed anything, to get payment. And I'm going to start doing that because that's my money. I did all that work. I did a lot of work, and out of it, I had all these people. You would not believe. People think child support just affects, men, but there were women crawling out of the woodwork talking about how they had their children stolen and all the problems that come along with that. They were being molested and murdered. And you're getting killed in foster care, and they were getting pimped out, and they were getting sold. Human trafficking, yeah. And so, but the problem is, people were like, "Oh, hey, I'll do anything to get my kids back," because they saw me, have all these successes. I started with that affidavit. I started winning in court and stuff. Pretty soon they're like, "I don't care about that. You ain't got no money to fight me. F you." So, anyways, and now that the judge that did that out, Judge Pierce, he's no longer on the bench. So, anyways, these people were, when they say that, I had attached all of this information to that hashtag. I showed people how to really use the hashtag system, and as a result, they, Google took that hashtag, tell 5 people, and attached all these people had everything attached to that hashtag to, so they could bury it in the algorithm, and the search results. So if that kind of stuff puts it at the bottom, new stuff is at the top. They can manipulate the algorithms any way that they want. So, and I could write a book on how to manipulate to your advantage. How to get around the algorithm. Once the algorithms once you get the type specific query right, for what you're looking for. It'll pull it. It will think that you are friendly. You know, you can cash in your frequent flyer miles and go right to the stuff that you want to see. And I discovered this, you know, when I saw the division thing of politics. You know, when Trump came out and you started looking, and once you started looking at Trump and MAGA and all that stuff, the algorithm fed you all that garbage that you wanted. You know, and I was a Trump supporter at the time. And then I started, a couple of times I started looking at the left here, because I look at both sides. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to be spoon-fed anything. So I went over and started to the other side, not the dark side. I went over to the other side and started looking at that. And then the algorithm started feeding me that. You know, I'm like, holy shit. So, you know, I studied that and perfected a lot of stuff, you know. And I'm sure the artificial intelligence wasn't as advanced as it is now. And I'm sure that a lot of what I did is now in AI. I did a lot of really cool stuff, you know. And the problem with it on internet and stuff, but when I'm trying to show other people how things work, the bad guys are learning it too, you know, and they just change it, you know. So, anyways, that's one of the subjects, the reasons I'm on this trajectory, this storyline, because when right after those public, those television broadcasts of those three county commission meetings, is the date that they changed the rules. It's on their website right now. It's the date that they changed the public speaking rules, which they're unconstitutional. They violate the First Amendment and everything else. But and they reduced the public speaking minutes to 5 minutes. And then I went to another county commission meeting. The last time I got was getting unlawfully evicted. The same through, you know, that's when Judge Piercy's evicted me unlawfully in violation of federal regulation and everything. So I went down there. They couldn't wait for me to shut up, you know. They had to look at that, are your 5 seconds is up, you know, 5 minutes is up. And then they erased it from Facebook. And that's the Supreme Court already, you know, ruled that was unlawful. Any public official that had a social media page, you know, as long as it wasn't profanity or threatening or inciting violence, they couldn't take it down. But the truth whisperer was to the bone, you know, cutting to the bone of these people, you know, and so when I came to the county commission, when I decided I was going to go to the county commission this last time, this, you know, December 10th, 2024, I had written a script, you know, and I was like, I was determined I was going to go down there, and you know, I timed it and practiced it. It was right at 3 minutes, you know, and I'm like, I was like, you know, I watched the First Heavy Metal Church, and that sermon, you know, hit deep, you know, because I mean, I'm guilty of that, and I've been practicing. I mean, I've been preaching that to other people and talking about that for a long time, you know how destructive it is. You know, I've been, you know, I tell people that a while back I made a promise to God that I wouldn't take vengeance into my own hand. You know, I'd leave it to Him. You know, and whether, you know, you believe in that or not, or this is a reality or not, for the longest time, everybody that really did something bad to me, I got to see them get taken out, in some way or another, just, you know, not killed or anything like that, but, I got to see something really bad happen to them firsthand. I mean, right there, you know. I've been out of Dayton for 2 years, and I come to Dayton, and I get to see somebody that screwed me over really bad get effed up, but, so, I'm like, oh, I wrote this script. I was going to come down there this week, and on the 10th, and I was going to read this script, My name is Donald Faulkner, and I'm a third-generation honorably discharged veteran of the United States military, and I produce veteran housing auditor videos on YouTube and many other platforms. Today, I want to apologize to the community. It is because of me that the public speaking time has been reduced to only 3 minutes, and the rules of engagement are changed as well. Back in 2017, during 3 county commission meetings, I embarrassed the commissioner or the administration by giving the community just a tiny peek at the corruption within the county administration, family law court, and child support enforcement. Live on DA TV. I still have a copy of that, and that was it was unlawfully removed from public viewing, just like the 2020 commission meeting where I spoke about the municipal court Judge Pierge's violating 24 CFR 393 353 and several state and federal laws in an unlawful eviction hearing. I'm starting to feel like Phil Connors in the movie Groundhog Day. Carolyn Rice, Debbie Lieberman, Judy Dodge, several Ohio congressmen, the administration at GDPM, the VA HUD BASH program, the VA and HUD OIG offices, and a long list of elected officials have been judicially cognizant of the current unlawful eviction I'm going through for 90 days now. I just packed up my belongings and got them ready to go into storage. And tomorrow I'll become another homeless statistic to avoid the December 12th court date. I was the day off there. So anyways, another eviction on my credit. So all of the local news outlets have this entire story. So when you watch the news, read the newspaper, or listen to the elected officials bragging about how much they support veterans once every 4 years, remember that this is what you have been voting for. And when my Savior, Jesus Christ, judges me, all of you criminals better pray to your God that I make it into heaven. Because while Jesus is judging you, you'll hear me laughing and know that I'm waiting for you just inside the gates of hell if I don't. Sleep tight now. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And that's what I was going to deliver at that county commission meeting the other day. So, I rewrote that script. I don't think I saved it, or I deleted it as soon as I printed it, But I got down there, I scrambled to get down there because I didn't want to be late. I wasn't even sure if these people were going to let me speak, because, I've shredded them up pretty bad, embarrassed the crap out of them, And, but this new regeneration of my personality is, really, really, really trying hard to cut back on the profanity, eliminate it. I need to eliminate the attitude because it's killing me. It's not hurting anybody else. It's killing me, The stress, I get so mad I'm about to give myself a stroke sometimes, So these people aren't worth dying for, and they will, because they wouldn't even, they won't do anything for me. They're not doing nothing for me, That video that I posted earlier today about broken promise, or promises made. I can't remember what I said now, what I named it. empty promises, out of sight, out of mind. You know, that's exactly what it is. You know, they and when I, you know, as soon as Vicky handed me off to this lady, you know, that was it. You know, her obligation. She was happy. I'd give her, you know, I'd given everybody a heartfelt, authentic apology. You know, and I still stand by that. But you know, since then, you know, I wasted. You know, I sent them an email where, you know, I spent about 7 hours in this totally messed up storage unit thing where they, you know, they misadvertise it, and the people at the call center don't have any idea what's going on. It took me 5 hours. It actually took me 7 hours altogether just to get so frustrated. I just called the bank, said, hey, I want to cancel this purchase because I couldn't get it. They didn't even know how to give me to the right person, you know. And that person finally called today, and it was just as big of a disaster. And the rest of my time was sitting right here, waiting on phone calls, you know, early in the morning. I told everybody I got to be out of here by 9:30, and everybody, you know, said they would call, didn't call. Bunch of empty promises, you know. And then the next morning, the same thing. And, you know, I talked to Judy Dodge, associate, or whatever you call the lady that answers her telephone. I'm not going to name her name, you know. I'm going to be respectful, but, you know, the rest of these names, you know, are already out there. Judy Dodge and all that, you know. They're the face of this, so, and it's under their commission of office that gives the authority to the rest of these people anyways. That's why there's a corporate structure there. But anyways, so that is the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. And I'm the truth whisperer, and I think I'm going to bring that persona back to life. Maybe they quit using it. And the funny side of this, back then, I had, when Trump came out, and MAGA began, you know, right off. I mean, it was all planned anyways. I'm going to stay off of that. You know, that's too volatile of a subject. But anyways, when he campaigned, I mean, he campaigned on a mountain of lies, but one of the biggest ones was he was going to give the power back to the people. And I had my, you know, I've been through it all. Imagine this. I've been through it off Twitter 3 to 5 times, something like that. I don't even remember. But when well, I left one time, so that don't count. He announced on Facebook, it came out on Facebook, Twitter, and all those, that he was saying that he had achieved that. And I was like, I created a hashtag, MAGA360, and the 360-degree view of Trump and MAGA, you know. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Did the corporation get changed back into a republic? And, you know, within a couple of hours, he had retracted that, you know. And immediately I was using that hashtag. I'm like, listen, this is a patented trademark. You know, don't use it. If you use it, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to come after you lawfully for trademark, you know, infringement. And to this date, I mean, I had, you know, I had like 30,000 followers on all my channels at that time, and even more on several, you know. So, but you know, the price of the kind of fame that I reached, there's a price for that, you know, and your price is losing all your monetization and getting squashed. I mean, backdoor deals to get you shut down. You know, and if, like I said earlier, if I had the money, in the video I posted earlier today, if I had the money, I would prove most of these allegations because I would have investigative people looking into it. So there you go. I'm going to do another one shortly. Wow, that was 40 minutes. I need a drink. No wonder I'm thirsty. See you next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this stuff, and maybe I might even start up the monetization. Put a subscribe button in the video, and sometimes that brings trouble. Because every time I get the monetization build up, and this when I get shut down. So as long as I'm not making money off of this, they don't seem to care, because that's where they want you. They want you broke as a joke and unable to do anything. They've done a pretty damn good job of that with me.